look at this. Look at it. I don't think I've seen anything quite like this before. It's a special Magic Skin edition of the new TECNO Spark 10 Pro, which you may have come across over the last few weeks as reviews have been coming out for it, but I've partnered with TECNO for this video to get an exclusive early look at the 10 Pro with this very funky new skin. Now, you know me, I love a flagship phone as much as the next man, maybe even more so because I'm literally a tech YouTube creator, whatever that means. But the problem is they're all far too expensive. None of my real world friends or network actually want to spend £1,000 or more on a phone, which is why I always appreciate the opportunity to talk about phones that are actually affordable. And this will cost you under $200, thereabouts. It will vary based on the region and also the SKU you go for, but that's not bad at all, especially given the tech that they've crammed in this thing, including a 50 megapixel main lens, a 5,000 mAh battery, we get a headphone jack, micro SD, a huge 6.8 inch screen with a 90 Hz refresh rate, and one of the most unique designs I've seen in a long time. But let's talk about this skin. The TECNO Spark 10 Pro Magic Skin Edition gets this upgrade in design and materials with this very dynamic and trendy new style. We get a much more refined and flagship level leather texture, which is smooth to the touch, and it uses an incredibly durable eco leather material, resistant against sweat, corrosion, scratching, and even UV light. There's no staining, no marks, it simply wipes off. Now, while the materials used for the back cover are dust and stain resistant, the phone itself has an IPX2 dust and water resistance rating. So it looks good, the materials are eco-friendly, it's incredibly durable, and regardless of whether you actually like the look of it, functionally it's extremely grippy. This is never going to slip out of your hand, and I don't think you really need a case. And I also appreciate the fact that TECNO have switched to some more environmentally friendly materials and also the manufacturing processes to actually make this, which is good to see. So let me give you the tour. And on the back, we have this big camera module with the main and also a depth lens plus a flash. Right side, we have the volume and a power button, which doubles as a fingerprint reader, although we do also have face unlocking. On the base, we have the speaker, which is a single rather than dual speaker setup, sadly. But on the plus side, we do have a 3.5mm headphone jack. And they also bundle a pair of wired earphones in the box, which isn't something you see very often these days. Then we have the SIM card tray on the left, which supports dual 4G SIMs, not 5G I'm afraid, but I can expand the storage with a micro SD card. But then, front and center is this big 6.8 inch Full HD Plus 90 Hz display. Now it is an IPS LCD rather than AMOLED, but I think given the price and the decisions they had to make, I'm happy they went with 90 Hz. And this giant screen is incredible for watching videos, playing games, and the good news is despite being a more value-oriented phone, it's still pretty snappy. So powering this is the MediaTek G88 gaming processor. You can play some games. Call of Duty did run smoothly, although on lower settings. Certainly this chip isn't going to win any awards for performance, but it's more than capable enough for everyday tasks and some light to medium gaming, and that's paired with 8 gigs of RAM and 128 storage on my 10 Pro unit here. It also comes running Android 13 out of the box with TECNO's own HiOS software on top, which does a pretty good job of adding extra features like auto-recording phone calls, you've got custom gestures, and there's also a good amount of personalization features to play with, but the software never gets in the way and it still feels quite quick and responsive. Now we have a pretty good size 5,000 mAh cell in here, and combined with that slightly lower power, more efficient G88 chip, a 2-day battery life is absolutely achievable with this. And to give you an example, after a full day of using this, pretty normally, I'm not running a ton of games or anything, but I have about 30 to 35% of my battery left. The 18-watt charging isn't particularly quick, and as you would expect at this price point, we don't get wireless charging. And finally, let's talk about this camera, which as we all know is always the biggest compromise, the biggest step down that we see when it comes to more affordable value phones. But I must say, I've been pleasantly surprised by this. I think this setup does suggest maybe we have a triple lens camera here, but in fact this is the flash, and this is a 0.2 megapixel depth sensor. So really, despite everything that we've got going on here, it is just this one 50 megapixel main lens. But that's the most important one, and it's actually pretty good. Looking at these shots I've taken, skin tones are spot on, and the shutter lag isn't too bad at all. There is some noise, and if you zoom in you can see the lack of detail, and it does struggle in lower light. I think the night mode could do with some tweaking. Overall though, it's still pretty good. And then up front we have the 32 megapixel selfie camera. And we also have this nifty adjustable dual flashlight for the front camera, which can help brighten up your selfies. As a whole, given that great battery life, nice big screen, we've got the headphone jack, the micro SD, decent performance, and that sub $200 price tag, there's a lot to like here with the TECNO Spark 10 Pro Magic Skin Edition. TECNO were very kind and sent 2 devices, one with this new Magic skin with this 2-tone design, but also a regular 10 Pro in the starry glass color. So you can see this is the specs of the 10 Pro. So if I unwrap this, you can see the difference between the Starry Night 10 Pro and this new Magic Skin Edition. Both really nice designs. Which one do you prefer the look of? Which one would you go for? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, a like and subscribe would be amazing, and I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chat.